Hello all, welcome to my video. This is DJ's Crazy, and today I'm going to talk about the new test server 2.9. So this update is actually quite confusing for me. I've got quite a mixed feelings about it. So the first one is the dash robot. I'm not quite sure about this one because the heavy dash robot now did sort of reduce the cooldown time, but they've weakened the shield, the physical shield, and the robot itself, but I didn't find it at all strong in the first place, so I don't really know why they sort of decreased the health a little bit more. That really didn't make sense to me. Tulumbas and the pins and also the pinatas, they also received a decreased in damage by 13%, and also the new medium dash robot is back, and this time round the cooldown time is about 12 seconds, HP 118k, speed 44 kilometers per hour, and energy shield HP 59,000. That's pretty good. And also the heavy machine gun. Now this one, they decreased the damage per hit to 1230, previously being 1530. So next we have the Gekko. This one received a new model and rebalance. Now the damage has been increased to 2350, previously being 2142. But I don't really use long range weapons, so it'll be interesting to see what they've changed. The pinatas. This one has the damage has been decreased by 13%, as I've said. I've liked the past version with all the missile weapons, but I'm not quite sure why maybe because the new mechanic sort of made the people think that the Orkan isn't special anymore. But as I mentioned last time, I think the mechanic is actually slower to reload than the Orkan. So I think the past version is fine for me. So now we have the heavy machine gun. I like the increased rate of fire, which 3.7 bullet per second. I like that idea, and this one has less damage, but I didn't see them increase the clip, the bullets per clip. I would like to see it increase to 80 at least. That's probably the better way of changing this weapon instead of the damage per hit. I think the damage per hit is fine. I like it at the moment, but the reload time is sort of too long, and yeah, and the damage per hit isn't that great either. So next we have the Gekko. Well, the Gekko for me, I have a mixed feeling about this one, because for me, long range weapons are supposed to have sort of a longer reload time and weaker damage per hit. Well, especially this one, the Gekko, is a light sort of weapon, so I don't understand why they increased the damage per hit. Also, now the reloading is so fast. It's at a point where what is sort of unfair to the players, I think, because it's just way too fast, and the range is it's incredibly long range as well, this weapon. So I don't really find it fair to the other players. I wouldn't want to see this one in the game, I don't think, because it's simply quite overpowered in my view. Either you have the fast to reload but really low damage per hit, or vice versa, or a larger damage per hit or slower reload time, I think, to make the game slightly more balanced. That's my view, because at the moment, to me, this one is slightly too strong for my taste. Next we have the heavy dash robot with Tulumbas. Now this one I'm not too interested to try, because I like the previous Tulumbas being how it was, you know, the damage per hit, but now it's been reduced, and also the heavy dash robot isn't really my type of robot that I'll use. It's slow, and the dash distance isn't great, or the jumping height isn't great either, and also the physical shield I didn't like, it's too small, and I see no use in it, and also I did not understand why the shield and the robot itself didn't, the health been reduced. I don't understand. It makes no sense to me. But to me, this is already sort of one of the best setups for this robot, because you don't want to use this robot in a close quarter battle. You want to use it, you know, sort of a mid-range sort of way. I'm a plasma guy myself. I use plasma most of the time, but it really depends how you want to use this robot. If you are sort of playing in a larger map, I would suggest you use Tulumbas or any mid-range weapons. But in sort of like a close battle like this one, I would probably suggest you use the Turans with this, because you usually last longer with Turans. Yeah, I'm getting destroyed in this map with this setup. Maybe I'm not used to using this robot yet, or I should have used it more mid-range, but as I've said, I'm more like a close range guy. So next we have the medium dash robot, and I'm happy to see it being back and textured as well. It looks nice. It could look a little more sleeker in my opinion, and the color's alright too. I like this robot because of the energy shield, but one thing I don't like is slightly overpowered on the weapon side. I want to see it with 2 weapons instead of 3. This one makes it a lot. Having 3 medium weapon slots makes it a lot more powerful to other medium robots. So I don't find it particularly fair in that scenario. But as far as performance-wise, I think this robot is good. It's really good. I like any setup with it. Tulumbas is fine with it in close or short-range maps because of the shield, of course. But of course, depending on your style or the map, you'd want to use Turan or Tulumbas or Orkans with this one. I wouldn't suggest using Orkans for the heavy dash robot, but definitely for the medium dash robot. Also the Tulumbas and pins I've got on the Griffin, and I really do suggest this sort of setup better than the dash robot because of the jumping ability. You can you know, sort of jump behind cover and shoot, and then you get back to cover really quickly. So that's one thing that the dash robot don't really have, is that ability to get in cover quickly. Because of the dash, the ability isn't that effective. So as I said before, I would like to see the dash distance and height increase in the next one. But yeah, apologies because I'm not quite sure what's happening to the server, because as you can see I'm getting shot at, but I'm not getting any damages for a couple of seconds, and neither do my enemies. They receive any damage for the first sort of few shots. I don't really understand why, but not a big deal. So as you can see, my Griffin is actually performing quite well with these Tulumbas, but the thing I don't like about it, it's sort of too weak. It doesn't do much damage. I'd rather, if they were to change, I'd rather just stay as they were, having the normal reload time, because that one you get a lot more damage. Whereas this one takes sort of a longer time to reload each missile compared to the Orkan. So if the previous Tulumbas, the normal reload time one, they decrease the reload time of it, you know, being about 8 to 10 seconds, I would actually prefer that one. Yeah, this one is good, but it's not that effective, especially with its sort of mid-range, but only 500 meters. So I would prefer it being a little bit more powerful. I have lots of Orkans myself, but I don't find it particularly unfair because the Orkan has its speciality because of the 32 missiles and the quick reload time as well. That's the special thing about it, but the Tulumbas will never match it because it only has 8 missiles, and the reload time is slow as well. So yeah, that's my sort of my opinion. Now next we have the Pinatas and the Orkan. This is my favorite setup of all time. This one is effective any way you use it. It's awesome, and I don't think this can ever be replaced by Tulumbas and pins. Never, ever. It's just so effective. I really like using it. Next we have the Turans with the heavy dash robot. Now this time I want to show you how effective this sort of setup is for this robot. I prefer using the Turans more than the Tulumbas or the Orkan for this one, because the Turan is really powerful on its own, and you tend to survive a longer time with this setup than the normal Orkans and Tulumbas. I'm able to stand much longer and with that firepower. However, like I said, depends on your playstyle. Whatever weapons you're good at, you can definitely use it. But to me, the Turan is pretty much the best weapon yet for this robot, because the shield just isn't good enough to do anything. So the Turan is like the most threatening weapon you can use. But of course the Orkan has its use, but it'll be difficult to escape any danger. So I would recommend the Turan, where you have that extra 50 meters to sort of get out of danger when you need to. Next we have, of course, the medium dash robot with Turan setup. This is also my favorite setup because of how like quite powerful this setup is, and also it might be a disadvantage as well because it's too powerful. Just 2 weapon slots would be enough, I think, for that. But so far, this robot is great, apart from the weapon slots. So I like the HP, I like the shield, I like the cooldown time. But I'm quite sure that people would choose the medium robot over the heavy dash robot because of the slightly better performance. Because first you have, of course, you have 3 medium weapon slots for both. So that's one thing. You get energy shield, which is much more effective in my opinion. Although I'm getting slaughtered, but gosh, it's so nice. I love this robot. See, when he's facing me, his physical shield isn't doing much against my damage. So that really makes this weapon quite unique in my opinion. So we have an extra footage of how the Griffin performs with the Tulumbas and pins. As you can see, I prefer this setup because you can actually jump behind obstacles and jump out of danger when you need to. I like this setup as much as I like the Orkan setup actually, but of course Orkans and Pinatas has always been my favorite in this game. Yeah, it's just so nice to use it. But just one downside, I would like to see the damage per hit increase just a teeny weeny bit. Just a teeny weeny bit. Maybe not 13%, but maybe 8% or 5% decrease would be enough, in my opinion. It's just so nice to finally have that mechanic with this setup. As you can see, I'm sort of using the jumping ability along with the Tulumbas. That way you can really use the Tulumbas and pins more effectively, in my opinion. Another point I would like to mention is because of the increased use of energy shields like Ancelot and Carnage and other robots that use Ensile. That's why I want to see particularly the Tulumbas and all pins have a slightly higher damage per hit point, in my view. That way you can actually take out shields quicker instead of having to wait a long time in order to reload and to take it down. This way, of course, the game would be more balanced. Oh god, the Orkans. One thing I like to mention though is the Pinatas and pins or Tulumbas. When you misfire, previously when you misfire, you have to wait like a long time, 17 seconds I think, in order to reload. Of course shorter for the pins, but that period of time could be really vulnerable for your robot, especially if you've misfired or sort of like miss your target. But now you have the reload while firing mechanic. Definitely makes it more convenient, in my opinion. You see, also once I've taken the shield down, it's not long that I could actually destroy the robot, because previously you for this setup, you only have 2 Orkans after you've fired all the rounds on the Pinatas, so it makes it quite vulnerable for you. Alright, it's time to wrap it up. In this test server, I think the Gekko is the one thing that I'm not certain about. I'm not a long range guy, so for me, long range is supposed to have sort of a longer reload time and weaker damage, but that's just for me. What do you guys think? Leave a comment down below if you disagree or agree with me. The others I quite like so far. I think the progress is great. Just some slight tweaks in the future, then these will be perfect. Thank you for watching this video. This is DJ's Crazy, and please leave a thumbs up if you liked this video. If you didn't, please comment down below. Also, please subscribe for more videos to come. See you next time. Bye.